Dr. Zaitoon, Qazi Saiba Saab, Assalamu alaikum. What is your professional background?
I'm a medical doctor, done the MBBS and the child specialist course. Then I did masters in medical demography, then the public health, and then different other short courses.
So it's a big field in which you are working. What is the role in Humanity First Switzerland?
Humanity First Switzerland, before that I would like to tell you that I started with and for working with Humanity First International since 2010. And that was because I had a tremendous experience of humanitarian work, health action in crisis, disaster response courses. So I worked, still I am on that role as a facilitator and technical resource person. Fortunately, we also started chapter of the Humanity First Switzerland. It's been now 2 to 3 years. And here as in Humanity First Switzerland, my tasks are as a director medical.
What is the job of a director medical? Can you tell
Actually,
me?
director medical, as the word medical sounds, it relates to the medical things. Medical word is a very broad spectrum. It's just not like you just providing the medicine, but all sorts of the medical illness, and then on the medical spectrum, whatever the problems are, especially in the disaster situation, crisis, displaced situation, when there's an earthquake and there was people displaced. So those kind of the population, when they are in the displaced situation, you have to manage them. That comes also in the medical side. As a part of the Humanity First, Director Medical has a huge, I would say, the portfolio. Not only providing the pinpoint medical services, because we don't do like you apply a stethoscope and do the injection, etc. No, it's the public health comes first here. Public health means that the prevention of the thing before you go for the therapeutic thing. So that kind of thing we do for the Humanity First. Do the capacity building, do the assessments, need-based assessment, health assessments, and this kind of the camp management. That also comes.
You just mentioned now capacity and skill development. This is a very important field. What have you done? What has Humanity First Switzerland done in Zimbabwe in this field?
We have visited Zimbabwe year before last year in 2018. That was our first ever visit over there. The goal was to do the need assessment thing, because you know that the country is very poor politically, economically, and all sorts of things. So we did the need assessment, and there we visited many villages. And there, because you see the people are very poor, they just need to have some kind of the motivation to increase their income. For income generating activities, they have to have some kind of the skills. So while we were there in different villages, obviously there was a lot of women, young and old and not so old, they were gathered there. So what I did, and you have the videos of this situation, we gathered the women were already there. So I started talking to them, and then how they can generate their income so that they can closely meet or not so closely meet their hands, because they're quite poor. So what we did later on the same trip, we provided the sewing machine, because we identified from different places few ladies who were willing, who knew the sewing thing, cutting thing, knitting thing. So we provided them with the 6 sewing machines. We developed 2 sewing centers. And now those centers are labeled as Sewing and Arts Craft Center, because gradually, not only in the sewing, they started making those fancy bags with different kind of the fabric and the material and the threads and the nylon threads and the ropes and all sorts of. Last year, in fact, they sent about 50 bags to Jalsa Salana, UK for selling purpose. So they get money. One of our colleague who went last year in 2019, June, she bought the bag as well. So those ladies now, the group is expanding. the activities are expanding. This time, with reference to COVID, they made lot of this mask, fabric masks, double layer masks to protect the people. And last I saw their picture. They were very happily, working on the sewing machine, and they were dressed, the bed sheets, the covers, those kind of the thing.
Perhaps, as you mentioned, perhaps we can show the friends of MTA a short video clip of what you have done there.
Okay, yes, there are a couple of videos there. With you and helping in the medicine.
So how much a goat is? Goat, how much is
I remember there is a saying in the Bible that Jesus says, "Don't give a fish, teach them how to fish." So this is what you actually are doing.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
the idea is to give them the know-how so that they can survive. Is this correct?
Yeah.
So which, like sewing, what else or what other skills are you teaching them?
As I said, they're making the purses, the bags, different kinds of bags. And if you see the photos are there with our MTA team. If you see those bags, those fantastic. There would be 200 francs here, but they are making with meager amount, and they're making very nicely laid out, crafted. So different kind of the bags that's making, and they are making other like a scarf. Like this is ordinary scarf. Okay, what they do, they get a plain scarf and then make tassels and then the beads, and this is they make it more fancy, and so that they could generate their income.
Actually, you are also a good advertiser. Would it be possible to buy these items? Would it be possible to buy these items here in Switzerland?
Of course, we are looking for the customers, the clients. In Jalsa Salana, they sent the about 50 bags and some of the small tidbits, like a small porte-monnaie, like you said in the front,
yes.
porte-monnaie, and then little items for the girls. With the similar kind of the fabric, with the different design, very appreciative with the stones and the beads and the sequences. So they make it. If you are willing to have it, I mean, there's no problem to get those here.
That, I think, would be very nice. One point which I'm very much interested in is the role of the women. When you go in these areas and you go as a woman, are you accepted there? Do you have problems with the men, with the husbands of these women?
Actually, I will tell you, I have vast experience in different part of the world, Western and very down the road situation. I went to Canada, even the Russian Army Federation. I was there. Wherever I went in Afghanistan, I went 17 times. Somalia went there, and in different parts of the Africa. That was related with my UN work and UNICEF work. That was other thing. But wherever I went, I never ever had any problem, not with my scarf, not with my. I always had this coat, this kind of the coat, scarf, and whenever there was a time of the prayers, I would say my prayers. The, and obviously, I would work with the men. Men is there, men there, men around. But they would understand and they would tell other people, stop, Zaitoon is saying prayers. So I never had any problem. Only in Afghanistan, there was obviously Taliban thing. Unfortunately, I ended up in the Taliban hold. But there I was very successful. My team was very afraid. I went to those Taliban students. They were the students, very heavy built students. I spoke to them. I started with the medical things. What happened to your mother? So they narrated some kind of the story that someone's aunt died. Why died? During a childbirth. What happened to the bleeding? How many siblings? So then I said, okay, if this child was not born at this time and there would be a gap, wouldn't you think that she would be in a better shape? And that kind of the conversation, they were so happy, but you have to be at their level, not like a boss, not like a doctor. Be a person like them, sit with them on the floor. So that I did everywhere.
One important thing in this year, especially, is COVID-19. How did COVID-19 influence your work?
Actually, COVID-19 has, impacted all sorts of activities, all sorts of work all over the world.
Can you give an example, especially for Humanity First Switzerland?
Humanity First, we are unable to go pay the visit to the situation that we plan to do. We plan to do the eye surgery, the medical camps that we cannot do. Here also, within Switzerland, we cannot reach the people, the vulnerable population, face to face because of this problem. So at the same time, with the COVID-19, though it has impacted badly, but at the same time, there are some kind of I would say, not the positives, but a benefit, because people are sitting at home. Ladies are sitting at home. So what they do here in Switzerland, I'm talking about the Switzerland thing. The female, because they're sitting at home now, they're not working, they're working from home. So they reach out through telephone, through internet. We ourselves, myself, my other colleagues, we provided WHO technical guidance and how best to protect ourselves without, harming anybody else or harming the environment. That kind of the technical guidance, technical documents, assistance we provided online, on the phone, through the internet. And our girls, the ladies here, they especially, they help the people who are vulnerable. Because obviously you are not allowed to visit the Heims or the old people's homes. You are not allowed. But whoever lives in your area, okay, this neighbor is 65 years, this is this, but they're not living in the Heim or the old people's house. But they are there, and they need the support for the grocery, for the post, for the banks. So people were so eagerly providing the support, plus bringing their grocery, managing their post, and all those sorts of things that normally otherwise you wouldn't think of.
So this is more the activity of Humanity First Switzerland in Switzerland. You have mentioned about internet and so on, or teaching via internet, which I have been doing as well. Is there any scope in Zimbabwe, for example, for these poor people where you are having this skill development, to teach them or to tell them what to do via Zoom or via WhatsApp, or I don't know?
Fortunately or unfortunately, because the band over there, the internet band, they have the packages. It's not like the internet is not so strong, the server, so they have the mobile phone and they buy the credits. We have been doing this. The community of our counterparts in Zimbabwe, Southern Legend and other teams, we do speak to them. We provide them with the things, not only this kind of technical material, but our resources, which are necessary for our own tarbiyah, our own talim. So that we are doing through the WhatsApp. We just send them. But face-to-face call, whenever we have tried to call or make a group call with the Amir Saab or most of the time there would be a lot of interruption. So we just sent by WhatsApp.
But thank you very much for all your information you have given, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.